Oh.
Okay. Too catchy.
So the session ended.
Ooh, we were doing food-related stuff, and somebody's having a conversation to bully somebody else.
Okay.
I believe we were bullying Bonnie.
Kinda.
Well,
You
sort
don't
of.
really bully.
More her mom was bullying her.
Mom likes to bully her. As Mom says, bullying builds character. It does. Bullying builds character, and it also builds hard knuckles, because nothing hurts more than getting teased.
Teeth in your knuckles, like they're embedded in them.
I mean, yeah.
They're growing from them.
If you bend your knuckles
And
back
again,
too
I
far, they
don't
pop out of your skin.
I don't think he could cut his skin with a knife anymore. That's not true. You could. You couldn't get past the muscle. It's too thick. Like trying to cut through a damn deer ass. Hold still and let me saw you, giant man. Assassins have to go from like a stiletto to a fucking serrated knife.
They just bring an entire fucking stone cutting wheel. Hold still.
Hold still. Just sitting there pedaling it with their hand. Ah!
Or they bring a log splitter to try and get him at the knees.
Or, you know what might work is a pill.
Maybe one made of tungsten.
Bruce. No. See, Hans doesn't break your wrist, though, I don't think about it. He would literally break like somebody's wrist so hard it would break the entire arm just by the force. Ah! It's like a frag grenade in my fucking biceps. Ugh. Pretty weird. Shoot. Ooh, assorted fruit tums.
Colored chalk.
I love it.
That's
Dude,
basically.
everybody knows a real man ate chalk as a kid.
Yeah.
Alright. I like how we work, by the way. It's like upset stomach, nausea, indigestion, heartburn. Here, have this rock.
Eat this rock. Oh, the
It'll
rock
make it
isn't
stop.
working. Here, eat this chunk of carbonized wood.
Like, there you go. You feel better? Yeah, because everything else in nature doesn't do this, because, you know, that's what it means to be normal. And humans are special. We can't have a normally functioning biology. No. We gotta have
Further proof that
calcium.
we're not from Earth originally.
There's no fucking way.
Humans used to be able to discern what was poisonous and shit just by tasting it, but those genes just kind of turned off after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And now we just
need
fucking
to
eat
anymore.
everything.
Yeah, now we eat everything. Does this kill me?
What I eat?
Not yet.
Listen, if God didn't want me to eat random plants, he wouldn't have made antitoxins.
There's so
Prove
many
me wrong.
plants.
Just like, if God didn't want me to hunt animals, he wouldn't have invented fully automatic fire. I know a guy that hunts with a fucking AR. Full auto AR.
Why?
Because fuck you, that's why. 50 round mag. Listen, no, it's not. If listen,
It's not enough for.
pat firing one at a time.
Or here's my.
That's why I'm
favorite
waiting.
One.
I'm just waiting to hear a bear start shit with him. I think the bears know. God.
Bear's almost in half. Keep shooting.
It's coming right for us.
Not for long.
Fucking love that skit. Come ref, get the rocket launcher, Ned. Okay. Fucking Ned. Fucking loved him.
Also, what were you wanting to candy cane? I did hear you.
No, Dirk, did you see the picture I sent?
I did not. What's up?
Look
Let's
at shit
see.
posting.
The sleep well.
Look. I need one of those.
I'm pretty sure you'd blow somebody in half with that thing.
Well, I mean, stopping power.
Don't just stand there. Come on in.
So should we get started?
Yes.
What the fuck? Oh, by the way, before we start one thing, I might get enlisted because I watched Badger's video. I fucking
Oh, yeah.
died.
I was playing it last night. I'm actually still playing it until we start the session. It's quite
I'm
entertaining.
It's fucking hilarious, though. I fucking died. God. Fucking died so hard. And, yo. I can see you trying to shoot me. Don't even gonna work. Fuck. 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 Hello. Yo, bro, how do you fly? How does you fly this thing? The last thing you want to hear when you're a pilot.
When you're a passenger.
All right. Let's see. We'll skip a little bit of breakfast. Eventually, Sen will relinquish Beatrice via the nature of biology.
Eventually.
Keep forgetting that Sin doesn't show it, but he's very fucking. He's ripped. He has that extremely fucking aggressive kind of thought pattern when it comes to like food. It's like too fatty. I'll eat it now. Work it off later. He works it off very simply. He freezes it off by making the underside of his fucking cold. You can freeze off fat.
Slowly.
Yes, but when you're wearing a kimono to like 30 hours a day, every day, and the fucking thing is freezing, and you're also burning all those calories by using magic, you know. It kind of works.
Well, but is that what we're doing for this homebrew? Is magic burns calories? Because in the base game, it's an outside energy source.
No, remember how it works here. Too much magic can lead to a lot more problems. Like we just get a couple things, like a couple nerve damaging. You can get like entire organ rupture in here because you have to channel. Your body is the medium for it. Like it's an outside energy, but the outside energy, it has to go through you to do anything other than just like exist in the background and make sometimes make birds explode or squirrels grow.
Colossal squirrel attack.
I just had a funny idea.
You guys find a drenched hotspot. They're crazy.
So, I just had a funny idea. I was like, whoever is unfamiliar with that curse and all that, I imagine that Beatrice, as a kid, found this absolutely delightful, fun thing that when she looked at birds, they explode. So when she found somebody who that did not happen to, she started going, "Hey, check this out!" Wham!
Don't they explode into additional birds though?
No,
One bird turns into 6 birds, turns into
not
32 birds.
pigeons. Ravens, though. A whole nother story. Because they automatically panic when they explode. Alright. This morning, let's see. What's everybody doing? Everybody's being put to work in the Grove where they can be watched.
Weren't we supposed to be leaving today?
Hours.
Yes.
But hey, you'll get some peaches. Or she could also try some of the peach tea, the peach jams. Really any of the peach products.
Yeah, it's like, well, you
Kevin
got
already has a
peaches,
mouthful
you
of
use them.
peach.
These aren't just
Like my great grandma once survived, I think it was a winter off of all the apples and stuff from the orchard that used to be here. Because she couldn't afford to buy anything, so she just had to have apple everything.
Yeah, those people from California. I remember when this was all orange groves.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of hearing that.
Oh
Did
my
you used to
God.
hear that living in Southern Cali?
Constantly.
You hear that all the time in the retirement homes in Florida.
You know what it is now? It's all meth farms. Listen, I live in Texas and I've heard of Temecula, California.
So that it's kind of unfortunate, but Temecula's a nice city. It's very clean, very pretty, but oh god, there's so many people in it.
Well, I mean, Fort Worth and Dallas are pretty cities, but you have a 1 in 41 chance of getting robbed or stabbed if you're not
Too many
not in a
Mexicans.
group. It's too many everybody's.
Yeah, you get too many people in one area and it starts being an issue.
Do what Sojan's doing, just like actually make people like have IDs and everything, and police them, and if they break any laws, kick them out of the city and send them to one of the crappier parts, or just send them to a re-education camp.
We're gonna try to avoid that one as much as we can.
No,
Pretty sure those don't work.
That's not true.
Anyway.
Listen, lobotomies worked somewhat.
I mean, yeah, physically removing a part of the brain definitely works.
It does.
This is why we don't do
something.
lobotomies anymore. Medium oven is just dead people talk for $3.50. Okay.
Just
Hey now.
dead.
Like, I seem to have summoned something.
Honeycomb, please.
Anyway.
Don't say it, Dylan.
Blind bake proceeds to flail around the kitchen.
That was distasteful.
There was another one who did that too, and it's like, that was me.
That was rude.
Don't
It
say
tastes
it.
like crunchy diesel.
Synonym.
God, that shit's funny.
Ah!
A
Pastry!
vinegar pie. The Great Depression. Ugh.
Smells like denture.
Tastes
It
like
tastes
a shower drain or like
It's
a
like the
fudge.
floor at an IHOP.
Oh god, some
10
of that shit
hours
just
of
hurts.
supervised labor. Oh, but hey, somebody accidentally gets stabbed by one of the Grove Thorns.
Ew.
Oh no, who's it gonna be?
It's gonna be Kevin.
Ow!
And Beatrice.
You just see a punctured peach. He pulled the thorn off the thing, stuck it in a peach, and just yeeted that bitch over a wall. Go live your life somewhere else.
And then you can just hear, and then writing in the background from the Grove foreman. But hey, you do both you and Beatrice notice that once that sticks you, the peaches kind of go from a very orangish color to a sort of a deep red color.
Eh? That's not how peaches work, though.
Are these
These
wonder
should be the
fruit?
normal peaches.
Yeah, exactly. And Bonnie's gonna peek around from her side. You don't think that these are the normal peaches right here, do you?
To be fair, this is the second time I've seen a peach.
These are blood peaches.
Are they? Mm,
Well,
okay.
they're technically a parasitic plant life form, but when they've been properly maintained and grown in isolation like this instead of the wild, where they can get a ravenous taste for every small woodland creature, they're happy to just prick a few people at a time, and they have a very rich texture to them. They also sell for an exorbitant amount of money, so also that. You know. I think it's 30 or 40 gold a peach, roughly.
I'll be right back. You'll see him quickly skitter up over a wall. Don't hide from me!
Scribble.
It's interesting.
Beatrice is not going to have quite the same reaction as Kevin. She's once she gets pricked, she's just it's just kind of an ordinary thing to her, and she's ow. And then she find it a little peculiar to see the
Alright.
peaches changing color.
Give me a perception check if you want to try and find where you yeeted the peach.
Alright, so I just gotta remember what my wisdom roll or wisdom was because I'm bad at memory.
No, intelligence.
That one.
Wisdom is knowledge.
Is it the same or equal to Ferraris? So, wisdom plus
Wait,
that.
hold on. Oh no, it is wisdom. Excuse me.
So it should be a.
Yeah, intelligence is knowledge. I think back. It doesn't matter. That's what it is on here. That's what we're keeping it.
That's giving me.
On the sheets, I copied it over from the from.
Oh yeah. So what the hell is my brain doing? Bad brain.
So which one is it?
It's wisdom.
Okay, 201. That's what the
Okay,
41
you did find it. You almost stepped on it, but you found it.
Oh, good, because I would have gotten stabbed again because it still has a spike stuck through it. No, he wanders back in through a gate this time before replacing the peach into the collection receptacle. After picking the thorn out of it that he stuck through it out of spite.
What is the weather like, by the way? Is it warm or cold or?
It's very moderate. It feels like it's starting to get colder though.
It's just dead people talk for 350 degrees outside. How are you still breathing?
So, I think Beatrice would retrieve and wear her leather jacket just to protect a little bit from the thorns.
That's a good idea.
How these thorns just bypassed Kevin's armor.
Yeah. Because
What
they
is-
are very actively able to move. You can see it. The thorn wasn't just sticking out randomly. It was attached to a vine that's actively moving.
Oh, well, this just enhances the heebie-jeebie factor that Kevin has now.
Yes. The grove. Basically, the grove foreman will just take that poor abused peach and dust it off, and painfully have to throw it into the failed bin. Thank God they're not an elf, because I think that would make Kevin infinitely more angry if it was an elf judging him silently.
No, he's figured out how to not have outbursts of fucking pointy-eared bitch in his
It's another
day-to-day
Vipera, though.
interaction. No, he still
Apparently,
senses
this is
the
a
judgment.
rattlesnake Vipera. Yeah.
Ooh. Rattle, rattle, rattle.
They're a black diamond.
Shaky snake.
Banger.
They just walk off a little shake of that rattle, like just kind of, what is it, disciplinary shake.
He feels admonished, and he's not sure how to feel about being admonished by the shake snake.
Oh, now Fionn gets stabbed about 4 hours in.
Motherfucker. Ow.
Mob just casually letting one get a drink from his wrist, pulling it out.
I can imagine Bob finds this fascinating.
Are you doing alright with it, Mob?
Perfectly fine. Why? June, not used to getting.
Right.
Well, that was a good conversation, Fionn.
It just doesn't bother you that you're letting it drink.
Fionn, I'm in my 20s and I've had grown men and women try to rip my guts out. I'm fine with something drinking a little bit of my blood.
Ah.
Remember, everything needs to eat, no matter how big or small.
You're right.
It's the least I can do. I will definitely doesn't be.
And just
Here.
make sure it doesn't drink too much.
I could see one of the vines getting close to Kevin's face. He'd kind of just do the head bobbing thing, kind of matching its movements, like, yeah. Ah!
Anytime the vines start to get out of order, that form will walk over and give a little snap of their fingers, and they'll just kind of freeze up and stop.
So, what's with the vines?
The blood peach, parasitic plant. It usually grows peaches in the wild to attract larger creatures like medium breed mammals, and snares them and drinks them dry. Gorges the fruit larger and sweeter, and continues that cycle. Why?
I see. I was just curious.
And
So I
they've been
don't think I've
properly
ever seen
dealt
one
with
of
like
these.
this. Not a lot of people have. They don't grow in Ilvamar. They don't even grow in Galaxia. They don't even technically grow naturally in Amanthea. They're imported from the eastern continent. One of the
Ooh,
only climates that can handle it is Amanthea, though.
I see. And I bet you people would pay premium for these blood peaches.
They do. Especially if it's a specific type of batch. They taste different depending on which species blood they consume. Mixed blood peaches, which have fed long enough off of different types of bases and have created a very unique concoction of flavor.
Hmm. I see. Quite fascinating.
Very fascinating.
So, how many peaches are we going? Do we need to collect?
Only the ones that are red have been red for more than a few days. She'll pull a single one off and show it to you so you know to get these specific light red ones, not the deep red ones.
Mm. All right. So, does that mean they're right?
Seems the blood's saturated now.
Hmm.
Usually the ones that have fed on predominantly human blood.
Hmm. I see. All right then.
I can just imagine Beatrice if she gets stabbed again, she'd just be like, "Hey, rude."
Stop it. Get some help.
Not sponsored.
That's old enough. I think it's public domain now.
No, that was in the 90s. I don't
Oh,
want
my-
No. I blame the Dare program.
God, what a fucking failure of a program that was.
I remember those.
I didn't
old
even
beer
know
pro-
about most of those drugs until they started saying, "Don't do this." What the hell is
I
it? It
remember the
does this.
program's failed attempt at making pencils that were anti-drug that said don't do drugs, but if you used them enough, it would just say drugs on the pencil.
Yeah, it was, at first it would say do drugs, and then it would say do drugs, and then it would just say
No,
drugs.
It was too cool to do drugs. Cool to do drugs. Do drugs. Drugs.
Yeah, they
hours of
should have
sleep.
turned it the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think somebody would have gotten that.
Oh, it was recalled. They were recalled.
This is also during the time of the Reagan's war on drugs, which were
Yeah.
just extremely knee jerk and not founded in anything other than scary drugs. Oh God!
Hmm.
Just like the
Drugs-
Clinton
drugs
administration
are bad,
war on
okay.
weapons. Anyways,
Anyway,
and then Naibai gets stuck at the last hour by one.
And not stuck in her physical hand. This is concerning.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. Naibai just looks at a peach and it just kind of floats towards her.
Ghost plant.
Cool.
Whenever somebody gives her weird looks about it, she like holds her other hand up to her temple and looks like she's concentrating real hard at it. But if Naibai does get stuck by one with like their normal hand, they don't really react with it. They're basically trained to handle minor like pokes and prods like this, being sort of a nurse and getting
Just like, yeah, that sucked. Whatever.
getting poked with needles
Hey.
and sewing sutures and all that stuff all the time. I'm pretty sure they're used to little pricks like this.
Mm-hmm.
Blah. Yeah, just
Demon baby.
Now!
So, like, When we're picking these peaches, are we just reaching for the ones that we can, or are they having us, like, climb up into the trees to get these things?
That's actually a good question.
These ones,
I feel
they're
like the
just having
plants
to
have
get the
been
ones that
trained.
you can reach. Because blood peaches, they don't have the very vertical alignment like a lot of peach plants do. They grow up about 4 or 5 feet and then kind of sag down a little bit.
That kind of makes sense.
So it's kind of like a mushroom shape.
Yeah, kind of. Now, after you're done with that 10 hours, get the rest of the day to do whatever. But what is that you want to do for the rest of the day? Who knows? You can maybe relax or fight! 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 Sorry.
No.
Naibai would like to learn a little bit of cooking from the head chef.
I think Beatrice would be spending her time with Zen and uh, even some of it with her brother Faraji, because she doesn't get to see him as much as she used to. Because see him every day when you're at home, but then when you go out adventuring, then you're apart for days or weeks.
Just
Kevin's would like to pick the brain of that Viper Foreman. Just some kind of like cultural things, because kind of missed that part.
head chef will teach Naibai well, they'll kind of teach him. They'll go to teach him cooking, then go to cook. Go to teach him cooking, go to cook, go to teach him cooking, go to cook. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's pretty much an all-day thing.
Would it be easier if Naibai just watched?
It might be.
Watched and
You're
made
watching
little
them.
mental notes about things, or
Yeah, but
even
they're
made
making them.
physical notes about things.
They're currently making snacks for them. Still gonna be out in the grove or tending to the garden and such. Something that's really popular with those workers is basically chips. They're taking some sort of potato, so it's a very different color potato. It's kind of a slightly purple potato, and they're slicing it fairly thin, throwing it in a skillet with some kind of oil.
The sweet potato fries?
No, not a sweet potato.
I know I've seen purple potatoes somewhere.
Potatoes can have a abnormality that makes them purple. That doesn't change their flavor, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, they're just purple.
Okay.
They look
Which is
pretty.
cool.
I mean, I know there's a difference between white and red onion. I wasn't sure if that carried over to, like, potatoes as well.
Potato is one step away from being a rock. The flavor doesn't change that much between colors.
Well, these potatoes,
You go to bite into what looks like a nice tasty grape and you find out it's actually just garnet. The forbidden crummy.
Why is it perfectly purple and round? Who polished this and stuck it to a tree?
Who stuck it to a vine?
that's a good question.
You know, what would be particularly evil is if you did that and then you also had sugar ones as well mixed into the bowl.
So sometimes they're tasty and good to eat, and sometimes it just breaks your fucking jaw.
Yeah, just someone reaches their hand in, randomly gets a sugar one and goes, these are really good, and then you go to eat one and it's like, oh god!
My jaw. It is disconnected. Why?
My mouth tastes
they're
like
making
teeth
sweets.
now.
Man,
Ew.
a lot of all this cooking skill is impressive to watch.
Oh,
Watching them make some sort of dairy, some sort of ice cream, like a shake of some kind. But they have a handful of what looks like blueberries, and they're just popping them in while mixing, getting them to do a nice little perfectly lined in a swirl pattern.
speaking of cooking skill, how many points do I get for watching and occasionally asking questions?
That is a very good question.
I agree, it is a very question.
Mhm.
We here at Industries would very much like to have you on as a representative of our company.
Well, 115 points just for watching. Getting there. Slowly. But you're getting there.
Huh? Okay.
Okay. Go back to Beatrice and them. There was something else. Let's see. What's the foreman doing? Still doing their job being a foreman, mostly.
Mostly.
Mostly. Taking a minute to enjoy themselves some peach rum off to the side for a break.
Oh.
And what looks like very purple chips.
Hmm.
It's funny to watch a snake eat chips. I mean, mostly human features, but those pronounced teeth, not exactly the best for crunching things.
There's a lot of tongue involved.
And they're staring at Kevin who came over.
So, got some questions. Might come off as kind of strange. What can you tell me? And I say this, preface this by, as though I were not a Vipera. How would you go about telling some key points about the Vipera's history? Looks like that kombucha shit.
It's not. I'm not saying it tastes amazing. It smells good. There's no sugar in it.
It's not bad. It's good on a cold day. It looks like freaking kombucha. That shit's nasty.
Okay, so get back.
What is kombucha?
Fermented
sorry, I forgot
tea, I think.
Can't mute my mic anymore.
Hmm.
A little bit.
Hey, there it is.
Sorry. I'm used to being able to mute my mic on my headphones.
Okay.
And also, fight me. Kombucha's gross.
It's disgusting.
Never
Alright.
had kombucha.
I have
That's
no
disgusting.
interest at all in kombucha.
So they pretty much start this conversation with a and then there's that at you.
Hmm.
Yes, I have that sound effect. Fuck off. I am unstoppable.
Would Fionn have been drug away for his singing lessons?
Oh yes.
Okay. Then that's what Fionn will be doing.
Fiona Shizuna committed to it, they're not allowed. Erna has
Yep.
literally waited until exactly the 10 hours was up and stole you. He wouldn't have let you go if you didn't want to have to get into an argument with the Lugra. Luger outranks him because he's a butler for Luger's security.
Yeah.
I guess that's explain. Oh, okay. Well, let's guess. Bear have a very colored history, if that makes sense. We didn't used to exist on this continent, or really any human continent. Unlike a lot of our people, we we didn't just migrate with traders from further lands. We came up from a pretty faraway place, as I've come to know, with an army bent on conquering some of these lands, and for a time, we did own quite a large part of this country that we're in right now. That's why there's so many of us here. But humans are very persistent people. They are very fucking quick breeders too. It only took them maybe 100 years to build up an army strong enough to fight us back. They broke our numbers, found our hatcheries and killed us, pushed us off the continent, but left some of us around. Slaved us for about 100 years. We got our freedom, though, at least on this continent, when the current High King and Queen, the immortal bastards that they are, got in control. Broke all the slavery because they didn't believe that they should be able to enslave anybody against their will. But I believe that was purely political. Anyway,
Usually how that kind of thing goes, but I'll need to do
they
some more digging on this.
Vipera are very proud people. We have one of the oldest traceable religions and practices, with some of the oldest known written text of all the races of the planet. We used to worship Zalvos, one of our many ancient gods. He was a god of bloodshed and war. Their entire cults still to this day worship him. Even humans are in on the fun sometimes, and others. They love the concept of spreading blood and being rewarded for
This it does kind of pay to a more of their primal side. Seems.
it. We also have one of the most thrown together functional spoken languages, or at least oldest. We are master architecture builders. We've made ancient civilization last into this, well, remnants of them. The civilization itself broke down on the home continent, but structures outlasted the people. Many of the stragglers of our homeland still live in the shattered shells of the former empire. Spread far and wide. Naturally, we are one of the most dangerous of the, as they've called, demi-humans, because we are born with venom, and we're very capable and quite slippery. And we grow in long. Wide variety of us as well. Almost as many types of us as there are types of people. Well, there's really only one type of person in most Terra. It's food.
Kevin kind of chuckled just a bit.
Oh, there's that one thing I envy, and that's the ability to chew food without having to balance it between two corners of my teeth and crush it. At least if it's hard.
Does kind of limit the amount of things we can eat.
What else is it? Wait, no. Oh, ancient species. Oh, we used to share a continent with the what's their species? Cheliceros or whatever. Or Cheliceros. Chelis. I just call them Chelis. Like brothers are. He's a butler here. We don't really like each other, considering that we used to share that continent. Then they got into a fight and they beat us off that little continent. We went to a bigger one and they came back and enslaved them for a little while before the empire broke.
Well, fighting is as fighting will be.
We were quite an aggressive people, you see. Most of the Golden Sands belong to the Terra. Now it's pretty much just a mixing pot of whatever bastard race wants to run away from the human realms. The royal families still have some power there. Some semblance of a civilization. A noticeable one. It's also one of the only places you can find Vanderite.
And I've heard that. I've heard of that in passing, but usually whoever is talking about it either walks off before I can ask them, or don't feel like telling me what's going on. Oh,
Most people
what
don't know
is it?
what exactly Vanderite is. It's a metal. Correction. Vanderite is a non-terrestrial metal. It's only ever fallen in the golden sands of our former home. It's how our weapons were so good and we had so much good technology for the longest time. It comes out of the sky in big hellacious fireballs that land and destroy and turn the sands to glass. Takes 100 men to crack it open, working around the clock for weeks on end. Once they get just a little bit of it, it makes knives so sharp that it can cut through steel. Armor is so damn thick you can't even get through it with a magic tech cannon. It's also extremely rare. Really, only the royal family used to have it. The royal family's chosen attack dogs had it, and the army had it back in the empire before it broke. Building your entire military around a very finite metal was ultimately one of their greatest oversights.
Well, does sound like it was kind of a miracle, miracle medal.
Well, it could kill a human in one good shot to the chest. The problem is, despite its unique properties, humans breed quick. And when you've only got 100 arrows in the quiver and 1,000 pissed off humans, you're kind of running out on math.
Yeah, there's definite disparage. Yes.
Anyway,
I suppose.
just how it is.
Oh,
I suppose the question is this conversation happening anywhere near Beatrice?
Did Beatrice stay around in the grove and go see what the hell Kevin's doing?
Well, when they were done with all the picking and stuff, she would have hung out with her brother and her boyfriend.
Oh. Well, Sid and Faraji both they just wanted to go take themselves a nice little walk through the garden.
Well,
The
she would
garden,
join them. She'd be very happy to do that. So I assume
it's a little bit of ways.
yeah, I assume that's a far a ways away. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was kind
it's
of
about
wondering
10.
if she would have overheard anything about like their god, because that would have caught her attention because of the dagger that she got. The ceremonial. Anyway,
It's okay. You were just curious. That's okay. Ask questions when you need to. Was there anything else I can help you with?
well, I suppose I've taken two things from you: information and, well, one of those interesting, bloodthirsty bastard plant peaches. I do apologize for the latter,
It's fine.
But
I'll just have to give you a ride up to Murnaz and he'll decide what to do with you.
if that's what it takes.
You make him
Well,
buy it.
we don't want Mr. Man getting all mad when he gets back from his business trip, finding out somebody has been throwing his prized peaches over the wall and into the woods to get pissed on by all the cur out there.
Oh damn, he's
No.
swearing.
I have not seen. I've never seen this kind of plant before, so
Not a lot of people have.
reflexes and usually when something stabs me, my usual line of work, it gets a swift stab or a shot from some firearms.
Gotta be more certain.
Oh, now that I know. He would give a, I get like a quarter bow, just kind of like, thank you much, and then turn and wander off.
I love it.
Goddamn shake snakes.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good. Ah, yes. Beatrice and Fragines and having a comfy walk through the garden. Ooh, hydrangeas.
Ooh.
Hydrangeas are neat.
And some other flowers you ain't never seen, but they look cool. Like a weird,
Go poke it.
kind of like a weird flower with bronze-looking petals and what looks like a blue stream of liquid coming out the very black center of it.
Oh, he gonna die.
Go poke it.
Who has found this strange flower?
The three of you.
Ah,
You, not you, Naivai. You, Farajin Sin.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you went with them to go walk through the gardens, then yeah.
No, Naibai is in the chef's room right now, just kind of watching them cook.
Yeah, like,
Wait, no,
they're
not,
over there gonna
not,
take up the rest of
hey,
the day for you.
not in the chef's room. Oh my god, brain.
Watching them make up some of that creamy batter.
this
Oh,
this
Lord,
is where the
Steve, that's
special
giving me
ingredients
some
are milked.
uh, Beatrice is going to inspect this flower, but she's not going to get too close because she doesn't know what it is and she doesn't know if it could be potentially hazardous.
You're in a friendly area. Your little UI lets you know that it's a weeping iris.
Ah, I know
Very
what
pretty
iris
flower.
are.
Poke it.
Produces a very light sedative to most species that happens to be extremely toxic to 99% of insect species.
Looks pretty.
Yes, it's very pretty. She is going to lean in and smell at it like,
It
not
smells-
that whole stuff your whole face in the flower, inhale as deep as you can thing, but just lean a little bit closer and sniff.
has a very kind of like that sort of salty, wet scent of tears.
Huh. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Ow.
You okay?
I just thumped my hand against my desk as I reached to scratch my nose.
Why'd you do that?
Dirt.
Yep.
All right.
My hand was closer to my desk than I thought. And yes, Mega, just like
Oh, dude, let's get a 3D printed the dead man's tail. Let's go.
3D printing tails, yo.
No, the dead man's tail. It's a gun.
Oh,
Destiny.
well, see, now you got me all excited. Now I'm just disappointed.
Shut up. You're gonna get a lick me baby to the face.
Mhm.
It's just aggressive scree, and then it steals your watch and your wallet.
Little bug potatoes. Alright.
That's a good marketing move.
Cane loves them.
They're fucking cute.
The candy
Oh,
cane.
yeah.
I was just saying that you love the bug potatoes.
The bug taters are so cute. I want one.
They're gonna make plushies in there. Just wait till Tuesday.
I wait till
Like,
Tuesday.
I'm gonna have to wait till Wednesday to play because Tuesday it's pretty much gonna be like storming on and off all day.
I'll probably have to wait till Friday to buy the pass though.
That's okay.
Okay.
Hmm?
I'll have to use some of the money from the gun purchase rule to get the pass for myself. Certain somebody can't fucking resist.
Shut up! I've done it for 4 days.
Have you
Huh?
shot it yet?
Yes,
No.
he shot it. Yes, he
I had a
has.
chance to. I actually haven't. I want.
He shot it in his dreams. All right.
Stop judging me. It's cool.
I've shot a
I'm not
couch
judging you.
in my dreams.
I shot a show, except it was a human girl's front line. I shot my own gun. Anyways,
Anyways, moving on.
sorry, they make them fucking gun waifus sexy as fuck. Bro, it's the two things I like: titties and guns. Let's go.
But never together.
No, fuck you. Together. That's exactly why I like it so much.
Gun titties?
No, just like titties bouncing because they have a gun. All right.
That reminds
How
me.
many times does Fion get smacked because of his off-tunedness?
Only 26 times.
Only 26 times this time compared to the...
Yes. Yesterday it was 39.
Huh. Progress.
He's getting better.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting flower. Ooh. Probably not a good flower to get here. Get warning signs around it.
Oh,
The worst kind of UI helpfulness is when you get within the range of immediate danger of an item before you've identified it, and then you see how fucked you are.
Mhm.
But don't worry,
do that if
you
it's
didn't
out of
notice.
your field of view.
If the UI lets you know that you're approaching a dangerous flower that's safe to be near but not safe to touch. It has a very what is the color? Like a radium green kind of series of petals, that very stout green color to it. And it's kind of comes out in a helical pattern of crossing petals. Also seems to be secreting a very thin layer of something, and your UI warns you to not touch it due to the corrosive nature of the plant secretions. It's it's an adhesive corrosive, basically gel. It oozes out of its petals that it uses to catch and melt all of its prey that slowly slide down the petals into essentially what is a feeding tube at the bottom where they kind of flower out from.
Ah, so it is a carnivorous plant. They are so cool.
It's extremely pretty though.
So she is going to well, she's going to enjoy the sight, but she's not going to touch it or anything.
Oh, you get to watch a very large horsefly kind of land on it, and then watch it start kind of panicking because it's unable to lift off with legs missing. also very fast. I mean, it probably wouldn't burn through your skin that quickly, but something that small with that thin of a chitin, it doesn't take it long to kind of melt it.
Radium, fun
By
to
the
look
time,
at, not to eat.
by the time the little horsefly, I say little horsefly,
Yeah, I
gets
don't
towards
know
the
where you're
bottom
getting
of.
little from.
Well, I mean, this plant is like the size of a fucking elephant ear.
Oh wow, big.
Yeah. Big and colorful. They let you know it's dangerous. By the time this horsefly gets down to that little chute, it's mostly just its head. Just Faraji. Cool. And he'll actually grab a beetle off the ground and he'll throw it onto the plant.
Yay, alpha
Sin will just
radiation.
Sin will just look at him. What? Why? Because I have opposable thumbs and I'm a superior species. That's why.
Could you fucking imagine if aliens came to Earth and just yeeted the planet into the sun, and the other alien looks at it like, why? Because I'm a superior species.
Basically, what Faraji's logic is just, listen, we're superior species. We hold dominion over the lands. And Faraji, yes? You don't hold dominion over anything but your own testicle.
Even then,
Well, good thing they're big. And he'll just keep walking. And then Sin will look at Beatrice.
And just kind of look back at him.
It's like he says all the things I think you think.
just kind of snicker a little bit.
Once you get towards the center of the gardens, and the plants are getting more exotic, you're actually having to it's not just all open. Some of them is open, but then you start to transition into the enclosed parts, which actually have doors and signs letting you know to not touch anything in them and to shut it. This is where you can find a lot of the carnivorous plants. They just keep some of them outside for pest control. Some of the plants in here, certain things like you're used to, you see a familiar one in the form of that giant, weird, fucking pitcher trap plant. Like from that time you had to go down into the crypt and you were using it to try and disguise the damage you caused.
I'm not going to be
Except this
called out
one,
because of some damn plant.
except this one's about the size of a fucking child. Child. Like a fucking third grader.
Mhm.
It's pretty big. And one of the
Yeah.
garden attendants kind of smiles at you as they walk by, holding a very angry, flailing creature in hand. And they just drop it into the pit, this large carnivorous plant, and it closes up happily.
And she'll
Plant's
just
happy.
kind of look up over at the
Hold on.
attendant.
I hear
Eating time?
somebody get. Yes, eating time.
She'll nod a few times and smile at the attendant as she's going to continue inspecting the various. But again, not
It's worth
touching it.
noting that some of them are feeding them very small mammalian creatures of some varieties, many actual creature. Some that you've never seen, like one that looks like some sort of weird cross between a possum and maybe a lizard. And then, but some of them do look like they're slightly sickly animals. So they're not giving just people's pets to these plants. One of them is quite terrifying, though, and your UI lets you know that This one, you know that like plant that eats sheep in Scotland.
What?
Like
No.
that plant that likes to grab sheep's
Brambles?
wool and pull them in, the brambles.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it
It's
eats
actually
them.
carnivorous.
Yeah, this is a very carnivorous one. This one doesn't really have nice little brambles on it though. It more like has about 2.5-inch long spikes that go up to about 4 inches long as it gets towards what looks like this central ball. And this is on its own in its own little part of the enclosure of the gardens. It's a kind of this would just suck to get thrown into. Got 4 of these tendrils that kind of unfurl from each other with these large, very brightly colored tip spikes with a sort of yellow color on them that drip only what you can assume is a toxin knowing nature or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they take a very angry, possibly rabid animal wearing protective gear, just kind of throw it onto this bundle, and it doesn't get very far before it starts panicking as these very 4 large tendrils covered in thorns just kind of wrap around it with puncturing and just hold it there. You don't know how it's gonna eat it, or you thought you didn't know how it's gonna eat it until you realize that, uh, at the base where all those tendrils come out from, there's some sort of actual mouth to this plant.
But it's got teeth.
It has, not teeth so much as well, I mean, it's basically teeth. It's not like our teeth, but
Plant
it's just like
teeth.
hardened plant teeth, yes.
So it's like thorns, but teeth.
Well, it's like, if you were to take, tendrils, cover them only the underside in very large thorns, practically spikes, and then at the center of it, at the base where they all start at and unfurl out from, to put like a little mouth trap. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Kind of like an octopus.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
They really just kind of colloquially have started calling this, as your UI lets you know, a they call it a thorned cephaloplant for fun.
You just made that up.
Everything that's not something from our world is made up. Well, words are made up. They didn't exist until us assholes came along and was like, you know what? We need a language. Confused Unga Bunga.
Grog and me are gonna use this all the time. Grog and I. Shut up.
Just writes it down.
He says,
Feed
"Groosh."
me, Seymour.
I will stab you.
Hmm.
Feed me. I'm hungry. Fucking good movie. Alright.
Fucking all the movies from the 90s where they had to actually put effort in because the CGI wasn't there yet.
Mhm.
And the final interesting exotic plant, aside from all these terrifying carnivorous plants, is when you get to the center of the enclosed gardens, and it is a very, very interesting thing. Because you're already in an enclosed garden, but this itself is enclosed inside this enclosure because it has to have a very specific climate, as you can read from the sign. It is some sort of plant that really only grows in freezing cold weather. And you can see it through the door, but it's cold enough in there with the little glowing magical seals all around the room, which are projected from basically the metal bars that come up for the glass to actually fit betwixt, is actually where the engravings are that keep it nice and freezing in there.
Smart.
Put it on the most structurally sound parts of it, not the most least structurally sound.
It's even conductive.
Yep. It's
Which,
cold enough though that the glass has a layer of frost on it.
Ooh.
well, it wouldn't if people didn't keep opening the damn door and letting all the moisture in.
Right?
Because you
Oh, I
can't
thought you meant
see
like the-
cold.
I beg to differ.
If there's moisture in the air, you can, but you can't see cold.
You definitely can. Sometimes if it's a big enough temperature difference, you can actually see the densities of the air changed just enough so that you can see
It's
cool little
actually
waves
worth
and
noting that
layers.
this magic is technically creating a very arctic climate on the inside. Even that comes with a little bit of snowfall. That's why they have to keep opening the doors to occasionally shovel the snow out.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you can see hot.
Yeah.
It makes everything in the distance go weebly wobbly. It makes you see water where
Yes,
there
because of
isn't
the air
any.
distortion from it literally
That-
causing
Yep, that's
active
basically
evaporation.
that's basically light traveling through the different temperatures of air at different speeds. The cold can do the same sort of thing. You just don't see that as often.
Well, you definitely don't see it in Florida.
No.
Yeah.
Florida doesn't.
Yeah,
It's amazing you
it's-
even know what the word cold is.
It's only snowed here twice. Ever. And those were called Ice Age.
Okay, let's see. Now, Sin will ask, do you want to go in there?
Sure, I'd go in there and take a look.
Yeah, sure. Let's just go into the freezing cold thing. You don't have sex in there. Get stuck together.
Somewhere from way the fuck far away. Ah!
Oh god, there was even an
It
echo.
echoes.
Sorry. Sorry, that was unprofessional of me. Okay. Sin will step inside and comfy. Faraji. Holy shit, it's cold.
Beatrice would have bundled up using several of her different pieces of clothing summoned from her inventory.
This Arctic enclosure is quite big. It's actually about it's a circle of about 15-ish feet. They were measuring from the outside. It had about 15-foot circumference. It's a good distance. It's because this is it's a very large plant. It's more like it's because it's not actually a tree. Because
Not like
it
a
doesn't
big
produce. More like a big shrub, but it seems to be growing. Whatever is growing on it, like it's growing actual ice, not producing moisture that happens to freeze. It's actively growing a very unique form of ice on it.
Is it dry ice?
It's some sort of ice that when you get close enough and breathe on it, it does start to sublimate.
Cool.
I believe most ice is.
But it's got a very pure look to it. It's almost completely transparent.
Beatrice is fascinated by this, and she's going to kind of remark to Sin, I wonder if your dad would like something like
So I wonder about this ice. Is it forming ice sickles, like in cones, or is it just like forming cubes or drops?
I imagine it's forming like leaves and stuff made out of some sort of
Yeah,
organic.
like does the plant grow as ice?
Yes.
Ooh.
So it's like using ice as the structure instead of the typical plant materials.
Yeah, instead of like plant fiber and
I'm forgetting the actual structure.
cellulose.
But
Cellulose.
you can tell the difference between what's meant to be picked and what's not, because what's meant to be picked is almost transparent. What's not has a very light blue coloration to it from whatever it's using to grow.
Well, yeah, you'd have to get the nutrients and material out to the different areas, probably through vascular flow.
Yeah, and it would have some sort of vascular system.
Little ice tubules.
Really fascinating plant you've made here.
I
I
like
would love
you.
to see some. Ooh,
It's like
what if it's not even fully
-20
a
in
plant?
here, by the way.
This
Oh,
is why
Since
Beatrice is wearing many layers.
so is the blast freezer at work.
Like, it wouldn't even have to be plant. Maybe that's just a colony of bacteria that survive or thrive rather in frozen environments.
Or it could be algae.
Ooh, that is true.
Could be, but this is kind of a complex structure for either of those organisms. They can at most make
giant
like
Well,
Giant
so is the human
actually
body, but
algae
we're mostly
too.
bacteria.
Well, let's go ahead and hop out of here. That way you don't freeze. That might be. Yeah, please do.
Get it pulled in here. And so he's going to make her way with them. And she's
Spent a total of 4 hours perusing the gardens.
and so she's going to kind of like be rubbing at her arms and stuff and kind of you know how you are when you're cold where you're just kind of hugging yourself and you know that sort of thing. She's gonna
Don't
do
worry.
that until she gets warmed up.
Well,
So we got
Sin-
really cold there.
Sin's gonna be a sweetie and take off his kimono and shake some of the frost off of it and just let you use it. And then it's like surprisingly insulated. It's like really. It weighs more than you expect. It's thick. It's like a fucking jacket.
She's going to appreciate this and kind of lean against him a little bit as she warms up. But it won't take too long for her to get warmed back up, and she'll give it back to him when she's comfortable and put her usual stuff, which I suppose is her usual favorite leather outfit, which she had first put on for the protection against the thorns and now is just kind of keeping on.
Faraji's actively breathing spirit fire down his shirt. Okay.
She's gonna look at him and she's like, "Oh yeah, I suppose I could have done that too."
All right.
There are a lot of times she just forgets she can do magic.
Well, we can tell all of our friends about this wonderful plant. Whatever it is.
Yeah, you can let them know about that. Some of them might like.
Maybe we don't tell Fiona about all the stinging plants and let him find them himself.
Kind of feel like he would figure some of those out really fast.
Worth noting that your UI didn't have any information on that plant you were just looking at.
Huh.
Like, dude, I don't fucking know. I ain't never seen this shit. Okay.
It's just like question marks everywhere. It's like you look at one part of the plant, it's a question mark, and then another part is a different question mark.
Hey,
It's
you'll all
freaking-
get to spin the hat.
so
Oh,
she
stomach.
She is going to be very happy about getting to spend time with her brother and her boyfriend.
That was cool. What do we go to next? One of the garden attendants. You can always go to Simon's gallery.
Oh, that sounds like a very good idea.
It's about an hour's walk from here, but it's further into the small town. He put it up as a place for people to go enjoy art, those that don't have money to do it themselves.
Such a
I
nice
think,
guy.
I think that was a really good idea of him. Lets people appreciate it when they might
Okay.
not.
Going to have to go get an eye by if we go to the gallery.
Oh, yes, she absolutely wanted to see some of his work, or a lot of his work.
I suppose we can also go get Fionn. Make a day of it then. Let's go.
So she's going to nod and she's going to grin as she makes her way back to the others, or at least where she assumes they might be gathered.
Sin looks around. Faraji's like, no, it's okay. I have an easy way to find them. Butler, dude! Ralthazar will walk around the corner with a book in hand. Don't call me Butler, dude, or I'll sting you. Sorry.
Just,
Like,
is there a thing?
what do you want? Friend? Rajano's not here, which means she must be between body slams. I guess I'll have to find them myself. Rump Scorpion Man will walk off.
I thought he was the demon guy.
No, Murnaz is the demon. Ralazar is the scorpion. Murnaz is currently
Okay.
teaching Fionn to sing.
Yeah, it's like I thought he had. Uh, I thought
Quite
he
poetic.
was the one that had shown up. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mighty clever of you having the demon teach him how to sing.
Not clever. It's just spontaneous.
Sure! I know how you are.
Sure. All right. All right. Ralazar will eventually return with Naibai, who he had to pull out of the kitchen.
Hi.
Is one.
Hi. We were going to visit Moses' gallery right up in the town. We figured that you would want to come along.
Oh yeah.
The second one they drag along is a shirtless Bonnie, pulling them along by their hair and their ear. I told you, you had 10 seconds to stop being like, and you chose to ignore. That's why I drug you here like a whelp. I am your elder.
Beatrice is just gonna blink at her. Little surprise.
Literally, daughter of the master of the house. Ralazar cares not. He is the butler, or he is a butler. He will listen to your elders. But when they go to find Fionn, they very gently knock on the door. Yeah. They require. Murnaz will check his beautiful golden pocket watch. So, I can maximum. 5 hours of singing was enough. Well, Fionn, you and your friend may go for the rest of the day. Though tomorrow you will be here early.
Alright. What time should we be here?
You will be here on the 3rd hour.
The third hour. Alright. Yes, sir.
Shall leave us with 33 hours of the day to train you properly. And you enjoy them. Have a good day.
Did he just leave by scratching a record?
Well,
It just
Oh, no, it's pretty ornate record player in the room, and as he left, his fucking fingernail, he just reached over and kind of hooked it and slowly drug it over and up and left.
some kind of video game from 2010 here. Scene transitions, record scratch.
shut.
Oh, it sounds like you want the flashbang because you're being smart.
No.
Just turn. It's too bad you can't like isolate someone's volume or receive volume and just turn it all the way up.
There are programs that we could be using to do that, but you have to pay for them.
What's that? Did I hear? How do you spell torrent again?
How do you spell non-commercial, free of use from wonderful sites like Zapsplat and Free Sound? Oh, love those sites. That's where I get most of my sounds from those awesome people. You need sounds, people. Zapsplat is a great one. They got a variety. Free Sound. Love them. Got all kinds of stuff.
You ever need like a weird alien monster sound? I got you. I got nothing else to do with this $300 program I got for $30.
But if you need
What?
any sounds for money, though, don't use them. Those aren't your sounds to profit off of those two. What I do. You're doing what I do. I get monetary gain from this because we're all adults and we're extremely R-rated. Doesn't matter. Fuck it. This isn't for kids. You little bastards, you better put your parents' phone out before I get the knife and I cut your fucking nostrils open.
You want to know how we got these scars?
I fucking love Shad's comic of that. You wanna know how I got these scars? You're crazy. There's no way you can fit four in there at once. See, I had this husband, see? Fucking love that.
And
Ugh.
here we have an image of somebody just pobbing at their phone screen.
You're relinquished. Those of you that want to go to Monza's gallery, you may.
Yay.
Fionn will go to Mons' gallery.
If you wish to take a shower and get clean first and presentable, you also may.
Fionn will do so.
There is a showers in alternative to the bath. It's in the same area. It's just their shower stalls.
Neat.
Well, there's just individual shower stalls, and then there's the communal shower where you got like 8 little shower heads. People just stand there and talk or sit there and clean.
I think Fionn would. Fionn would go use the communal showers.
Ah, yes. Showers. Head of security of Beluga is in there. That
Security
goes
of
on.
what?
You realize that the head of security of Beluga is in there taking a shower in the communal showers, just standing there butt naked, scrubbing himself down with a soapstone, rubbing over those very large Nordic tattoos of his that kind of run from his head down over his body.
Hmm.
You know, I imagine whenever a situation like this comes up, we hear the sound of dice rolling in Fion's head.
Do I gotta?
Fuck, I
Very
don't
much so.
don't
The
listen to
group
them.
demands it.
I haven't demanded anything. I just told him it's up to him.
That's why I'm saying the group demands it.
I mean, if you're susceptible to peer pressure, go for it, I guess.
Nah, Fion's not gonna do this. Not this one.
I know, ugly ass scars of somebody who's been in fights. How dare he be
No.
marred?
How dare?
It's fine. He is marred from battle, but he's okay with it.
hmm
Always getting those tattoos inked so they're never disfigured.
hmm And Fion doesn't have any tattoos yet, but he does have those hooks in his ear, like the little what like fish hooks.
So it's a thorn that's been sharpened on the fat side. It's a basically a trapdoor hook.
hmm
It's essentially a straight bar piercing. If you know what those
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got two of them because didn't you put a second one in his ear?
Yeah, because you owe Naibai 2 promises.
Yes.
Hmm.
And she can call on those whenever she needs.
There's more fairies in the showers. Bath.
Is what?
More fairy people in showers and
Hmm.
bath. There's the changeling.
I don't know that Fion's gonna get in and get into his mane and scrub like down to his scalp good.
Scrub deep into the fluff. Get it nice
Yes.
and clean.
All the floof must be clean.
Yes, there's Bob standing in the communal shower, dominating the central space because he can. With the "You will die screaming" on his back, written in fucking Nemanthian. Many comments about that. Just, what's that mean? It means that you will die screaming. Wait,
Pretty
I
self-explanatory.
really know. I don't know how much further I could explain it than that. It's a promise that you will die screaming.
Yeah, Bob. Got a question for you.
Yes, Fion.
Where did you get your tattoo done?
Oh, my tattoo. Quite simple. I got it done home. I asked. I asked Grandfather Hakon to do it.
Oh, all right.
Technically, it's also your mother's fault. She was the only one able to produce a specific type of weapon that could damage my body permanently for a tattoo.
That sounds about right. You know, she made the sword for me when I first became an adventurer, but I ended up becoming a spell arrow instead of a swordsman.
Oh, masterful silversmithing gone away.
And from what I hear, uh, the one that we picked up, Shadow, I heard that he bought one of our swords a long time ago, before we were even thought of. Or, well, before we were born, at least.
And I was thought of quite frequently. Technically, I am the oldest of us, older than Taraji.
Aye. I know that. And hold on a second. Yes.
Hold up.
I'm back.
It's been more than 1 second.
Shush.
I'm just
At
over
least
there
3.
rubbing those fucking muscles, getting stared at. And I'm like, small people stare at. Stop. Not a sexual item. I'm a person.
I'm not a piece of meat.
Well, he doesn't say that because technically he is a piece of meat, physically. It's fine. Just please don't stare at me with lust. I'm in love with someone else. Work out. There'd be no hope. I would still have sex with you were I desiring. It's just you'd be nothing, some sort of rut to me. Lie in the sheets and you feel the lack of empathy. My heart realize that you're just holds.
Hmm.
Just fucking Veluca just looking down at Mom. It's exceptional. That's how it must be. Anyways, gonna walk past Fiona and try to hit him in the face with nuts. Pat him on the head. Hurry up, we have to go to the gallery.
Aye.
To
I
the
do that soon.
gallery.
I gotta get dressed. Don't think I really have anything fancy for to go to a gallery.
With the words intimidating balls fit, yes.
Depends on how hard
How
knowledge you can do
how
your
big
job.
would nuts have to be intimidating?
They'd have to at least reach their kneecap.
They're close. I mean, mind you,
I mean,
mobs,
apple
like
size.
6'5", and they're
Mm-hmm.
like halfway there.
Hmm.
Because, like, I'm thinking of the square cubed law and the actual anatomy around, holding your balls in place. By the time they get big enough to reach down to your knees, whether that's through density or scale, then your body's able to withstand a weight that would normally rip those connections apart.
Where does the kneecap technically start?
Yeah, well, about halfway down your leg, usually, unless you're a midget. Oh, sorry, vertically challenged individual.
They're
Yeah, midget
almost there.
works.
Those motherfuckers are big. That's kind of cool, though.
Oh, so a
Those
whole
guys-
inch and a half taller than normal, or higher up than normal.
Be jealous because you don't have low-hanging fruit like some people.
I was always told it was bad to pick the low-hanging fruit.
No, that's kick.
I mean,
The
that
low-hanging
explains why Mob has in character, though, Mob has a deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
He has a voice deeper than what you'd think like a 28-year-old would have.
I don't know, I mean, Morgan Freeman's got a nice voice.
Yeah, but Morgan Freeman's like 70.
I can smell you.
That poor fairy who was sitting down enjoying themselves a fucking stool shower just gets ball level and just It's coming for me. That would be a weird thing to be fearful of. Like I don't know if you would be feared or like hopeful But like, if big balls are swinging at eye level, it's like, oh god, it's gonna knock me out.
I think it's more of like a flinch reaction at that point.
It's like the brain just doesn't like seeing some object of any size, be it big or small, coming directly at it. Yeah.
Pretty
Especially if an interaction with that would give you 2 black eyes at once at the same time.
And a broken nose.
Ah, my orbital.
I think it went into my brain.
I will just step out the fucking hall and wrap up in a towel.
That reminds me, I've been trying
I
to figure
love
out how to implement flinching as a
No.
mechanic. Because, like, that's
Oh,
definitely
God, no,
something
I
that...
had the thought. I had the thought and it hurt my brain trying to balance it. No, I don't want it again.
I know, that's why I've been trying to handle it. Because, like, it's definitely a thing that happens, and it's outside of your control, but, like, how do you actually
know.
turn that into a mechanic?
I don't know if you flinch, you're prepared. It cancels any prepared actions.
That would probably
I
work.
have trained myself to not flinch
Yeah, that's also a thing.
because I used to feed hummingbirds, and they would charge your face to try and make you flinch. And if you flinch, they would fly away. If you don't flinch, they feel safe around you.
I like hummingbird logics. Like, I'm gonna charge you to try and scare you. That way, I have a right to run away.
It's basically they're testing to see if you're alive or if you're fast enough to react to them. If you don't move fast and twitch or flinch or anything like that, then they're like, okay, yeah, that can't catch me.
Flawless logic.
Yeah.
Never an
I'm gonna
ability-
charge that thing that can be fast
Slow
enough to
enough
catch
to
me.
trick them into not realizing I'm actually moving, and just move. I basically did the Drax thing where I moved so slow that it didn't realize I was moving, and
I absolutely love Drax logic.
So what you're telling me is that hummingbirds work off of T-Rex logic.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
just that they move so fast and they function so fast that if you move slow enough, they don't realize you're moving.
Essentially, yeah.
Mhm.
Until they fall asleep, at which point they just basically go comatose, and you can, like,
They just pretty much they go into hibernation.
yeah. You can, like, push them over, and their feet will continue to hold on to whatever they're gripped to.
I'd like to give credit to those people that catch hummingbirds. People that like follow them and like not like catch them fast, but have the patience to wait till those crackheads fall asleep and then slowly sneak up on them and put them in a cage. Like that persistence is just like Jesus.
So I've got pictures of myself holding them in my bare hands after I've done that.
They're so cute. They snore, by the way, if you didn't know this. Hummingbirds snore, and it's fucking cute.
Snore.
They open their little mouth and just very small
There's videos on YouTube of hummingbirds snoring. At least there were last time I checked, which was a while ago.
Meanwhile, a
painfully cute.
kookaburra will just, like, casually walk up to you.
Like, hey,
Axe for food.
got any games on your phone?
Exactly.
Oh, I hate kids like that. At least my nephew's smart enough to bring his Switch with him, so he leaves people the fuck alone.
But yeah, it's like a little off track here, but yeah, it's like I have been trained by hummingbirds.
You should put that on your resume. Trained by hummingbirds. Raised by hummingbirds.
But yeah, it's like we used to feed them, and they recognize people because basically they would see me and they would fly right up to me and like, "You're the one that brings food."
They are pretty quick, and I'm not trying to be clever. They're very quick.
Very
But
fast.
yeah, it's like it got to the point like where I would open the back door and then it's like birds right there.
Hey, you're very small but high.
But But yeah,
That's
like
been the thing.
they'll fly straight at your face and then stop 2 inches away from your eye.
That's how they fight too. They fence.
But anyway, it's like, okay, you're good, you're good, okay.
I watched 2 hummingbirds fence outside my house once. You know who won?
The cat.
No.
Yeah. They knew the risk. They knew there was a cat in the or outside. They knew our cat was outside, and they chose to get cocky and try and dominate the fucking porch. Needless to say, they had one of them had to learn a harsh lesson, and also know what it sounds like to hear your comrade being eaten alive by a cat.
Hmm.
Now, while I feel sorry for the hummingbirds, the cat was here years before they came here, and as such had a right to eat them because that is the rule of nature. If you enter the territory of a known predator and you are preyed upon, such is the fate you were destined to.
You know, if you're ever out in nature and you could walk up to a thing and pick it up with your bare hands, it belongs in your house.
Pretty much.
It's just
That
like,
cat adopted us, though. Just a
Does-
side note before we get back to it. They showed up one day a couple years, like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And they've been living with us ever since.
That's kind of how it was with my cat. Is she just kind of showed up and now she's our cat. Well,
Yeah.
she showed up and then she was my grandma's cat, and then my grandma passed away and now she's our cat.
Dark Shadow is she just showed up. She's like, okay, well, this is where I'm gonna live. I'm gonna stay on your awning and play with you. I'm gonna sleep on your porch. I'm gonna eat all your mice. Then I'm gonna come inside when I want, and you're gonna buy me delicious salmon flavored wet food from stores and feed it to me. And in exchange, I'll bird in your
You're gonna
lap.
put it in the box. You're gonna clean it up.
Yep.
that seems to
It's
be a
like,
pretty common story with cats. We don't really domesticate them; they just kind of tolerate us.
Yeah. But in
Imagine-
exchange, I'll be adorable, climb in your lap, purr, and I'll bunch you with my head to show you I care.
Unless
Imagine
you
the
pet my
first
belly.
person to.
No,
You could
she
do that
doesn't
exactly
put 'em
3 times.
Oh no. Shadow is finally enough of she's a good kitty. She'll let me pet her belly all I want. As long as I don't move too fast. That's the only rule, because she doesn't like people moving fast. She has to save her energy for slaughtering mice.
Yep. But anyway,
There's literally a
But-
dead mouse outside my front door right now from her. The 3rd one this week. And it's not the same one, because I have seen it disappear multiple times. She keeps finding new mice and she puts them in front of the front door as like a warning sign. All right.
could have abandoned it if she just put them on pikes. It's like, where did you get the pike?
She would if she could.
Like those fucking birds that spear insects.
That's
I've
just
seen that.
badass.
I have seen that cat eat everything of a mouse or a rat except its head and leave the head outside. I don't know. That is a message. When it eats every other part but the head. It's like, this was your father and mother. I want you to know.
Yeah. Wildlife is wild.
Nature's scary.
Yeah, makes you scary. Sorry. Farashi over there. Sorry. I just watched a hawk swoop down and eat a pigeon.
I'm pretty sure the pigeon's feet stayed put after the hawk went.
You know, they're right there. Go point to the fucking pigeon feet in the windowsill.
Good thing I wasn't watching.
It's good to be bipedal and not small.
Oh, does Faraji have the same curse as Beatrice and others, since he is Rita's son?
Which one?
The exploding bird one.
Not technically. Well, okay, he does have that because he's Rita's son, and she's part of the. She was part of the mercenary company. Now she's a. Now she's a. Got a very smart job. She is hired by traders to do divination to see if a business partner is trying to fuck them over or not.
Uh-huh. I can imagine that Glycol has similar things that he, let's see, services that he.
Yeah. Then there's also the fact that Glycol knows multiple forms of this world's martial arts and uses that in fighting and predicting what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know that scene from Civil War before they went kind of off script with the comics, where Iron Man was beating the shit out of Cap and Bucky? Yeah, it's kind of like that all the time.
Hmm. Well, after his shower, Fionn would dry off and get dressed to go get ready for the to go to the gallery.
Ernest has provided you all with comfortable clothes that look the part. They're posh clothes.
Yeah.
Beatrice will be very happy about
Mob, apparently, because of Mob's physical stature, he actually was not given the same kind of shirt as most people. He was given a loose-fitting undershirt and a vest rather than a proper two-piece.
And Fionn made
Was
sure
all-
to brush his mane so it's all nice and neat.
Yes, brushes his mane to how he thinks it's nice and neat. Gets Murnaz walks up behind him, grabs his shoulders, holds him still, grabs a brush, grabs a nice little oil of some kind, starts violently combing all the rats out of his hair.
it.
Takes him a whole 20 minutes. But when he's done, he's got it all nice and very smoothly contoured along the back of your head.
Now the question is, did he put a flower in it?
He did not put a flower in it. What he did do was put a nice little label pin in his collar.
What sort of outfit would he have put Beatrice, or would he have selected for Beatrice?
Because Murnaz just fucking knows something not too revealing, something that accentuates their goods.
Very nice. He would be very appreciative of. Is it flowy and everything?
It is.
I kind of imagine sort of like, I don't know if I can think of a better word to describe it. It's sort of like a flapper dress, where it basically it hugs the upper body, but then it's just kind of loose around the legs.
Sen went to say, I don't need anything. And then Murnaz looks at him. I suggest proper time. On second thought, I suppose I need something. Yes. And he's very shocked by the fact that he looks wonderful in still a kimono, but it's a very pretty raven black kimono. It looks like purple and yellow. What is it called? Embossing and lining.
Bam! Phone calls! Yay!
I do look like that. How do you always know my names? I'm a good bundler. Please, that's what to why he dressed Kevin in a very comfortable but fashionable satin shirt that has a nice little V cut in it to let his chest breathe.
Taste is remarkable, sir.
He knows Naibai is not very anything. So he somehow what he did for Naibai was played into that very very monotonous behavior of theirs and got them a nice little monochrome pinstripe dress to wear. That came with no left arm sewn on, save for a little hole.
Very nice.
Now you may all go to the gallery, and I do suggest you all.
I guess I'll never find out.
Only there's really no one that can tell me what Monzazat means. A little hint. He just makes whatever the hell he wants.
That sounds like the
You,
best policy.
you'll you'll find some snobs. No, it's this representation of society. And then Mons. Well, my left testicle itched when I was making it, so I had to swap to my right hand to scratch my left testicle. And then more of it started to get out of line, so I swapped back to my left hand, and that didn't work, so I bit some of it off in a rage. I fucking. That was completely random. That wasn't a scripted thing. That just came up in my brain, and I went with it. Like, yeah, that's Mons.
That's pretty much how all art is made at that level with Posh. It's just you throw paint at a canvas and you put it up for sale. It's up to the
Literally, he has-
observer to figure out what it means.
There's some snobby merchants trying to interpret his art, and one of his pieces of art is literally just a piece of marble he punched a hole in.
I mean, yeah, I'd buy that. That sounds pretty badass, actually.
See, the thing is, what does it mean to you?
Right?
I don't know, it just looks cool.
It's not what it meant. It's what it meant to you.
It represents the infinite void in the middle of my chest that I've learned to live with throughout my life.
This is where you just get soft head pads.
No, it's okay. I just feed it the voids of other people's souls.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
Yes, once they're there, Beatrix sees these various works of art, going to inspect them very carefully. She's going to find them very interesting, and the punched marble, she's going to think is pretty cool.
Naibai will, of course, fangirl over every single piece in order.
I could just imagine like almost anime like fangirl expressions on her.
She enters the room, sees that there's
Giant
so
sparkly
many.
eyes and hearts and sparkles dancing around her.
Yeah, exactly. But you know,
There's just some apparition. It's about to get slapped.
but you know, very Naibai-esque, so it has to all be very subdued. But you've known her long enough that you can tell she's actually excited.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like, she enters into the room, takes a quick glance around. Yes, that.
Yeah,
Takes a
yeah,
quick glance
There we go.
and is like, well, immediately turns left, starts at the first one she sees, and starts working clockwise.
I imagine there's a big old grin on her face too.
I'm just gonna throw this in the background. There, I don't know. I just
Harpsichord.
there you go.
It's a haunted harpsichord that just follows everyone around about 12 feet off the ground.
I just had the idea of there's actually a person with a full-size harpsichord on wheels.
Well, I mean, actually, it's kind of
Platform.
interesting. You're watching what looks like an Oni with 4 arms walking around and playing harpsichord with 2 of them, holding it with the other.
I imagine just kind of moving it around like on wheels or carrying it or something.
I could totally see an Oni being one of those hot dog vendors at a baseball game. With the fucking, what is it? The strap box with all the snacks and stuff.
Sure, they do pretty good
And that.
Someone up on the 34th row. Hey, let me get some peanuts. Yeet!
It just catches them in the teeth and lays them out on their
Get it right in the face. Thanks.
Everybody's just standing around looking at all the different pieces, from oil paintings to marble statues. One of the largest is kind of in the center of the room, and it just seems to be labeled "My Father."
Well, Beatrice is going to inspect that one. And
It's a very
she's going to be familiar with the general story of it. She's just never seen the actual person.
Hold X to inspect.
Fion's gonna look at it as well, just trying to keep himself somewhat occupied.
I'm gonna go ahead and reset that real quick. Let's see.
Because Fion
Hey,
is not used
put a lot
to
of work
fancy
in.
things like this.
Okay, Phil. It's okay. You're with Bonnie now. You know a rich girl.
Mhm.
Let's see. It's a very intensive labor of love piece. You can tell. It's made of marble in colors you didn't know, even some that Mons had found and possibly magicked into being the color of flesh. It's a man dressed in loose-fitting, what looks like black linen leggings, wearing a sort of a throw-over coat of some kind, and a nice kind of ash-colored button-up vest. They have tan skin. Looks like they've. It's very bronze from being out in the sun. Possibly also the fact that they were, Italian. They have very pretty, kind of almost. It's a black hair, but it's that weird transition from black towards brunette with the red in it. And there's the name of it is just My Father, but it has a large plaque explaining who they are, giving a small backstory of how their father was a not so famous man of science and magic who paid the ultimate price to give them a happy life, sacrificing themselves a long time ago, enough, as Mons puts it, in distance of a faraway land, so Mons could leave to better shores here, and that they never really had a good family. And this is the only man that they knew who cared about them and who raised them to be a better person and not let their size, their strength, or anything like that dictate who they are, but rather their actions, their words, and most of all, the most important thing is their kind heart. Oh, that was not timed, by the way. I had no idea how long that was,
That was not intentional.
but it was perfect. I'm gonna put that back on though. I like that little tune.
Yeah, wow.
It's honestly a shame we didn't get to know more of him.
Hey, but I'm glad that he's here now and everything worked out all right for him.
My father used to say he was the only person he knew that was smarter than Glycol. Not because of book-known intelligence, but because he managed to outsmart the most powerful empire ever known to his people. Got away with it.
I wonder if anybody else knew them.
Hmm.
Well, some of our parents briefly met him.
O'Neill just stare at the statue behind the group, listening.
I
Why are
know
they
that
standing so?
I know that me ma was on the ship. Dad was on a ship when they met once. I think she was pregnant with me at the time.
That sounds about right. Wow.
Ah, yes, Bonnie will just punch Kevin in the arm. Don't be crass.
Listen, that sounds like the right time frame in which the story and memory is taking place in. You're just being rude.
And
And
then
then Bob will punch her in the arm. Don't be a sump.
A sump.
I know that she said that there was going to be a fight, and I think that I think Mons punched Shadow across the ship.
Well,
That punches someone, they don't get back up and talk about it.
You never know; it might have been a love tap. Well, not a
The
love,
last love tap he
tap.
gave anyone but me.
But even it's not. I wouldn't say a love tap. Just a go away tap.
I'm okay, it's just I didn't expect that. And then Sin will just pet Faraji on the head.
What was that about? What happened to Faraji?
It was when Bonnie said the last love tap he gave anyone birthed her. That caught Faraji off guard when he was just admiring the pretty statue.
I could just imagine Faraji frequently gets these anime face plant reactions.
Faraji gets like the you can hear the snort as he tries not to laugh. But Faraji's a giggly bitch. He can't help it.
I love that about him. I imagine there were many times when Beatrice tried to make him laugh when he didn't want to.
If he's really as smart as the Black
Drinks
claims,
or anything.
I wonder
There
if they
is, in
worked
fact,
alone.
There is an open bar, but it warns you that there's a 10-drink limit.
I'm gonna go get a drink, guys. I'm not, and I'm only going to get one drink. That's all I want.
It
One
better
drink.
be at your level or below.
It's not
I'm
like I
good
can
with
order
you, don't
anything
worry.
above me level.
Come on, let's go.
Alright. Fion's gonna head to the bar.
I was
You know
gonna
that.
stare at the statue for a little bit longer.
Beatrice is going to smile because she knows that Naibai is enjoying this, which makes her happy.
There's a much smaller, well, it's larger in overall length, but it's much smaller to scale piece that people often look at, and it's a depiction of, it's just known as the Great Legion, where Mons has taken the time to sculpt an entire little replica with numbers, accurate numbers, of a marching legion.
Oh,
Jesus.
are they paving a road too?
Well, there is the legion that is marching behind a few dozen models of slaves, essentially laying road. It's in a little offshoot of the gallery though, that's specifically dedicated to that part of Monza's history, and they kind of this little display is part of a larger display that wraps all the way around the I guess you could say cylindrical room.
It's like a diorama.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose Naibai will go over there and have a look at that in some closer detail.
It starts with a very small, dilapidated sort of imagery of civilization, and it shows a man whom they haven't given them a face. Really, the only face that they have is their nose. They don't have eyes or any defining features, and they basically it depicts them helping them rebuild, introducing them to new things like new magic and new schools of thought, rebuilding them. And there's that three-headed golden eagle that Mons has painted, the little tiny replicas of the banners and hung it all over a little marble city. And then shows the legions with each of them with this is a very much another one of those passion projects where each of the members of the legion have the little three-headed golden eagle
Oh, for a second I thought
on
you were
them.
gonna say he carved the fucking numbers into their faces.
No. But it does say that there's even a smaller replica of himself sitting on the platform being drugged by more slaves, and it shows the 109th Legion. That's what this one is. And they're following the road being paved by more slaves, and it shows another little scene of it after them, of them conquering more cities and then building into an empire sprawling out over the map and then reaching to far borders. And then it gets to the critical battle where it just kind of stops and goes black, intentionally having sculpted it out of black marble to create a void.
So is it just like a black cube of marble, or is it like actually sculpted but it's all black so it's hard to actually make out detail?
Little sculpture of the current little life he has, even having made a little statuette of himself sitting and painting and sculpting. And then shortly after that, it shows him meeting his wife, and then a little diorama continues all the way to the other end, right, stopping at the left side of the door with his daughter having been raised and sent off on their own. Once puts a lot of detail into his work. Also, he's got all these different colored marbles that he uses. You don't know where he gets them. There's literally every color he could need. Probably imbues them with magic or some fucky shit. Keep
Mhm.
going on like
So
so.
the diorama of himself making like statues and stuff, is it a diorama of him making the diorama of him making the diorama?
No, it's a diorama of him making the father statue.
Okay.
The first important thing.
Yes, anyways.
There's also some of his oil paintings, like his Hall of Friends, which is an offshoot a lot of people ask about. It's also where Kevin realizes that there's an oil painting of him in there.
Huh?
It's his Hall of Friends. He's made an oil painting of all of his friends from his journey, hung them on the walls.
Oh.
Alright, well, let's take a look in there.
Mhm.
He, he managed to make even the derpiest people like Kevin or them look majestic, giving them very refined clothes and very formidable chins. There's even ones of the friends who are together, such as, there's Janai and Alana, and Janai is standing behind Alana. There's small baby Fionn doing babby stuff. There's
Oh.
there's you've got Sin, his individual portrait. You got Ivy's individual portrait. Then their portrait together. And you've got Yon and Gloria. You got Akane there. mischievous as ever. He didn't even try to make her look regal. He just shows her hanging out of a tree harassing somebody.
As you do. That's probably the only time she would have
I
stood
think
still
I
enough
would've
for a painting.
appreciated that.
Oh yeah, she would have definitely appreciated it.
And then you can see them. You can see Ricky, and there's that instinct not to look at the other portrait.
It just stops at Ricky. Just.
There's a hard screeching breaks.
Naibai ain't no scare. You can't heckin' scare Naibai. She don't feel emotion. She gon' look.
Naibai gonna go ahead and look at the. It's probably the most beautiful serpent woman you've ever seen. They look like a vipera with snow white scales and gorgeous crimson eyes, as red as blood, and a smile, a deceptive smile, smile of pure evil. Enormous, humongous, hunga. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh, these, my big boobly wooblies? My humongous unga bungas?
Question.
And then there's the portrait of her and Ricky together, and then there's Shiro.
Naibai already
Yes.
doesn't trust this lady. Nobody has boobs that big naturally.
So what
Question.
about Fionn?
Does Erie seem familiar to him, or does she look like a complete stranger?
Yes.
Hmm?
He vaguely remembers being breastfed by a woman who looks like this.
You know, he's gonna look at this picture and he's gonna kind of tilt his head to the side a little bit. You know, for some reason, she looks really familiar, even though I don't think I've ever met her.
And you can see the name under the portrait. Ibito.
Oh, they used
Huh.
the Japanese version. Safe.
Well, they have Yuri Bitoku, parentheses, Hoshima.
No, Fionn, you definitely do know her. She's kind of like a nun. She watched over you for a little while our original group was out doing stuff.
I remember just very vaguely when I was a wee little bab.
Turning this back on.
Being breastfed by a white serpent.
Yeah, that was her.
Fion's just gonna sip on the brandy that he ordered. He thought since this is a fancy event, he was gonna get something a little fancy to drink, so he got himself a little bit of brandy.
I think I would trust the one in to the left of them, but I don't trust this, eerie this eerie person.
Not to be mean and potentially incurring the wrath of Erie by saying this, it's a good idea not to trust her. Not because she's. It's just take it with a grain of salt. Just about anything she says.
She looks like a lot more than 8 inches. You mean feet?
It's funny you say that. But no, she's a. You'll understand if for somehow you meet her. You'll understand my hesitation.
Well, I hope we don't have to meet this eerie person anytime soon. I think they would cause all sorts of chaos if they showed up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to meet her.
Fuck you,
You saying
guys.
that, are you saying that out of genuine curiosity or because she has really big boobs?
No, out
'Cause
of
I-
general curiosity.
Naibai will
She's
cross her arms over her chest. No.
No, out of It's out of general curiosity for me. Because, all those years ago, she was like a nanny to me.
Oh no! Stop cackling.
What?
I fucking found their vacation spot.
Oh, no. Where is
God
the vacation spot?
damn it!
There it is.
Oh my god! You were safe for so long!
What
Damn
happened?
it!
I can manipulate the dice too.
Oh, no.
I
I'm scared for
can't! I'm sorry! That's so fucking poetic! I'm sorry!
what? Where?
That's such a fuck you!
Where?
I need a drink, hold on.
They're gonna pop up in the middle of the gallery, aren't they?
That is my thought.
I haven't done it in so fucking long.
What, Erie's voice?
Shit, I haven't done Celis's voice in forever.
What is it? It's, went something like... Hi.
Just Kevin tenses up.
Oh, howdy.
Holy shit, I look sexy.
Leon's gonna turn around and look up.
Well, they're not even... You just didn't even notice them. They were just casually standing over in the corner beneath the portrait, admiring the adorableness that is Gloria and Yon.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in that form-fitting, beautiful maroon dress.
Oh no, they're here. Protect me, Kevin. And Naibai will dash behind Kevin.
And
I love it. I
probably
love this, by the way.
spiritually.
Ricky has on fancy, silverish, like silver white velour pants and a pure, beautiful satin, gold trimmed Hawaiian shirt.
Fancy.
Feeling.
Beatrice is idly getting her fashion tips from Ricky.
Feeling.
The next kimono will have hibiscus on it.
If I'm assuming, but would you two be Erie and Ricky?
And then she's going to look at Ricky, who's standing beneath his portrait, and he has the same shit-eating expression whilst drinking his martini. And right now that he does drinking his glass of wine in that portrait. Assumption. But all this. Oh, vacations.
So, how did you end up here? And
Well, it's pretty simple. You said, I go somewhere exciting. I'm like, all right. Now, 6, 7, 13 years later, I figured out how to build a portal. Yeah.
Bill,
Yep.
it has been quite a minute since we've last met. My name is Fionn.
Oh, hey, he's the one born of the lion chick with a giant penis. Yeah.
And I do
Good
remember.
old Jenny.
I think you told me one time that she made you something. He's gonna snap his fingers. A man catcher. Way.
Oh yeah. I made a bunch of those. Ricky's main target is Kevin, who he's gonna walk over and slide his arm around. Boy, have we got a lot to catch up on. Come on, I want to tell you all about it. There was a war and everything.
How's it going, guys? Didn't see you there.
Oh no, my protection.
Kevin would wrap his tail around Naiba's waist. You're coming with.
Oh no!
And Theron will return his attention to Gary. You know, Miss Erie.
Quiet now.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not old enough.
Hold on. Hold on.
Beatrice is just gonna snicker softly.
Oh, Erie's going to torture Kevin. Yeah, they've been wandering around, but the dice haven't decided any solid location. But because you were mocking them, I'm over here like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna boop. And it's like, you know what, I like it. They're gonna make them be here. I'm like, okay, well, how long have they been here? They just get here? No, they've been here for about 6 to 7 months. Kind of enjoying the climate in the area for a little while.
And I imagine they have had the occasional visit from Yon. Just kind of keeping up.
When Yon found out they were here, yes, but they've been all over this world.
Yeah.
Been here for 6 years,
Have they ran
6
into
7 years.
Shadow?
Oh yeah.
Multiple times.
And just see when they first pop up, Shadow just sees them.
Just imagine he drops the hold and he's just going, ah!
He ran into Shadow, and then fucking Ricky ran into Shadow's wife because he was reading a map. And just, this map is a lot more firm and round than I remember it.
You could just see Ricky.
It depends on who's asking. Are you asking for taxes?
No, it's Shadow.
Then it's just like, where the hell's the tax man going to get you here? You never know, those crafty fucking tax collectors.
I could just see Shadow.
Listen, Ricky believes tax collectors can transcend the reality, the planes of reality too.
I'm sure in this
It's
game
like
world
the
they can.
Joker where he's like, I'm not gonna take on the IRS.
Ricky's not scared of the IRS. It's just he doesn't want to pay them because the money belongs to him, and he already spent it on experiments.
Listen, you might be an all-powerful demigod, but you still have to pay taxes on your house loan, okay?
Hell, I do. I mean, I would, but the problem is, well, if you're okay with debris, I've got you. Faraji is just fucked off. It's like, oh,
He feels the danger.
Sin has grabbed Beatrice's hand and just go do something safe.
It's like a plan. And it's like she is first, she is interested in meeting these people, and second, she's also aware they are very dangerous, so she is also afraid of meeting. So she would have been pleasant and smiled and waved, but then she would have made herself stay.
Since Kevin stole Naibai, Ricky's gonna take out a tape measure and just kind of stick it under her little paw, and then raise it up, and then slowly start prying Kevin's tail off of her.
Huh?
Nah, he's not tall enough. You know we get in trouble. So you're sending her away with the other people.
Dion.
Ricky
Hey,
would just
come on,
pick Naibai up over his shoulder and carry him off to set down beside Mav, the irresponsible young man, and take them with you safely.
I'm being stolen.
Fluffy, also. And he'll hold out a very small, sweet carrot sugar cube. Here, for your troubles.
Naibai will timidly take the carrot and look at it from every angle. Thanks?
He just leaves.
Naibai will put the sugar cube in their inventory right next to the succubus suite.
You have acquired one Ricky's wonderfully delicious, 100% organic super carrots.
100% organic, you say?
Yep.
They're 102% organic. They're extra organic.
Does magic count as organic?
Depends. I mean, yeah, it's natural. So
I imagine
obviously,
that there's a whole
thing.
thing about uh, people wanting some stuck up people going, oh, I don't eat food if it's been touched. I only eat natural. I'm magic intolerant.
Yeah, those people.
Well, you see, I'm actually allergic to antimatter.
I think we all are, champ. There we go. That feels good.
Easy there.
Hold on. Gotta check something.
do 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 do.
You know, I just realized something.
What's that?
Did it hurt?
No. Shadow's not on the wall.
At least he wasn't mentioned.
It wasn't mentioned. We don't know that he's not on the wall.
Naibai not on the wall either.
Again, I'll be right back. I am still searching for some.
Masa wasn't mentioned either, but I assume she's up there.
They are.
Yeah. Okay.
And none of the staff are on the wall.
Staff.
Yeah, you know, the mansion staff. None of the generals from the Imperious Army are on the
Alright.
wall.
A
Also,
lot of people aren't on the wall.
very intimidating music you just had there. Lots of bass.
Yeah, I have to click on them to alter their names and stuff. So you're gonna hear some of my other background music for moments. Here, like this one, which is also gonna get played. You'll hear it in a second. They've got a harp. They've got a limited selection of music they can play.
I don't know. What would a death metal harp sound like? 'Cause, well, I really wonder.
I think I have something like that. Let's see. Well, anyways.
Reminds me of the Resi Evil 4 save rooms.
Very pretty save sounds, yes. Alright. 4 plus 7 equals 8!
I'm back.
That Oni just got themselves a nice seat on one of the benches playing now. And that's where Sin has taken Beatrice, to stand there and listen to music while they talk. Kevin's being...
going to enjoy the nice peacefulness of it all. And she was delighted to see art of all these people she knew.
Actually, very nice. That's such a busy few months. Being slow down for a few days.
Who's singing?
Fiona.
Fiona hitting
There's more
acapella.
than just the harp. There's occasionally singers in here when it requires it.
Yeah. It's like if it's required, it's there.
The singers are just like on their phones waiting till someone starts playing the harp, and they're like, "Oh shit! Well, it's time
They're
to play."
socializing until time. Mons pays them quite a lot of money to run the gallery.
I think Fiona would go and he'd stand with Bonnie.
Somebody to keep him in proper order, I suppose.
Yeah, because, but kinda, yeah, because Fiona's not really used to high class, fancy stuff.
Yeah, she'll tell him what he needs to do.
Bonnie's looking at a very simple painting. It's not even a very good one either. It's kind of thrown together. It's a child's painting, but it's enough to tell features. And she's looking at it, and it's just making her kind of tear up a little.
Bonnie, are you alright?
I'm fine.
He's gonna look for a tag or the placard that says what this piece is.
It literally just reads Bonnier's drawing. First drawing, technically.
Aww.
Oh. He's not gonna say oh, he's just gonna kind of smile. He's gonna look at it. You know, it's better than anything I could draw.
Who's getting punched in the arm?
I'm not very artistic, but he stuttered. It's me and him.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Did you hear the last thing I said?
Yes.
Pants. Man, that's going back on. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Putting that one back on. I like
Yeah,
that.
that was a nice peaceful one. Nice quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Bob will walk over with Naibai and just stand beside Bonnie.
Hey, wait, where did Ricky go?
It's very pretty. I mean, full honesty, you know. Can't draw for shit. But it goes to show you how much of a good heart your father has. He knows it means the world to you. And that means the world to him. There's even a little plaque right there beside it. It's kind of got a winded sentence, but it's... You can read it in Mon's... I could try and read it in Mon's voice, but it'll be confusing.
Yeah.
I didn't
But
hear
it's-
that because the internet cut out.
Well, you know what? That's also your fault, and also... Damn...
So, what were we doing? Voting on whether or not
Anybody?
to read it in their voice or not?
In
We're
Mons'
just
voice.
joking.
Yeah, I think I'd like to hear it in their voice.
Ev is the tiebreaker here. Technically, you're tied.
I wouldn't mind hearing it in Mons' voice either. You can punch me
Alright.
later.
see. It's basically Mons has written that this is my favorite. It might not be of artistic quality, so it's not really the level of art that I find. It's that it is something created by my daughter. As a parent, my life has changed from what it used to be. As you get older, the burden and the weight of the whole world weighs down on your shoulders. And because of that, you often don't take the time to stop and appreciate things. You often don't really feel that joy you used to when you were younger, but through your children, you get a chance to experience that excitement and that pride all over again, and that happiness and joy. That's why this simple little piece is my favorite personally. And anyone that tries to take it down will have all of their limbs ripped off violently. A restrained Mons, a scary Mons. Oh, look, eventually, though, Sin will pull Beatrice over. She's gonna wander over out of curiosity. And Ricky will get Eerie to stop bullying Kevin so he can flee over to his children along with Yandra, who's just kind of been shadowing everyone. But I suppose no matter what happens,
Well, I certainly hope so.
I suppose whatever happens indeed.
Fion's over here just trying not to get choked up.
I agree. Though we might not be one party all the time, I can assure you I will always be there for every one of you. Whenever you need me, just let me know. We're in this together, after all. Just like our parents were.
Aye. We are.
That does include you too, Kevin.
You guys were grown or raised by good parents. Just a soft snivel.
No, don't cry. That's what they want you to do.
This might be a good stopping point.
It is a good stopping point.
Alright.
Is it foreshadowing? Who knows?
Nah, it's fine. I'm sure everything will be okay.
Maybe it's aftershadowing.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway, I'm gonna hop off. I gotta run for a bit.
Okay.
I'll be hopping off too to go finish watching stupid stuff.
I'm gonna pour sex toys after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
My other job is a cock goblin. Woo!
You're
Who
the
said
man
it?
that just hoards dildos.
Enjoy you, cock.
I-
Mama.
I-
That's
am.
me. That's me. She's the supplier, the dealer.
Cock tune.
I am a dealer
Yes!
that uses their own supply. I literally sleep on a bed of silicone.
They're the cock kitsune, aka the cocksune.
This is excellent.
Look, I'm a void element kitsune. It's my job to fill holes.
No, it's your job to do a good suck.
Anyways, I'm gonna make some food. Mountains.
Good night, Huxley.
Good night, Demon Pupper.
Yeah, that's me, heck puppy. Woo.